In today's video, I'll be teaching you how to improve in static dots. Even though I'm doing this video in Kovaaks, this also applies for Aimlabs or literally any other aim trainer you're playing, so don't worry about that. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and let's get into it. Alright, so the first thing to static dots is learning how a flick works. That might sound like common sense, you might be like, what the fuck? I know what a flick is, you know? You don't have to be good to know what a flick is. But a lot of people don't know this. A flick is two motions. So it's not just like a luck. I've had people argue saying flicks are just luck or some dumb shit where it's all muscle memory and it's just knowing your sense. But a flick is two motions. First, it's the initial flick to the target, and then where your crosshair is, you make the micro adjustment onto the target. People think that you just flick and you're gonna hit the dot, and that's what a flick shot is. But in reality, you just want to make sure your crosshair is on the target or as close as possible, and then make the micro adjustment. And the more you play, you'll just actually get better at micro adjustments. Alright, so to improve in static dots, what you want to do is go for accuracy over speed. If you've seen the XQC clip of him trying to like Mach 10s and he misses everything, he's going super fast, that's not what you want to do. A lot of people have in mind like going super fast and like just getting the world record. You don't want to do that, you know, because you're going to get shitty accuracy. You just want to start off by going slow. A practice I like to do is not even like just going into free play or going into practice mode in Aimlabs and not even shooting the target. Just build the smoothness. You want to go for at least 95% accuracy. And there's different styles when you're going for accuracy. Like some people like to just go slow the whole time. Other people, they like to ape the flick and then make the micro adjustment very slow. So they'll go like this and then make the micro adjustment and flick really fast and make a slow micro adjustment. But you always want to make sure you have 95 plus accuracy. That's the goal. Speed will come. Like I said, the more you play and the more you improve your scores, that's you improving your micro adjustments. So soon you'll just be micro adjusting way faster. Don't expect to get Bardoz level scores or cartoon level scores, because first Bardoz has played like CS for like 20 years before this. And he has thousands of hours in Kovaaks and Aimlabs and all that. So, you know, you can't really expect to get those results in like an hour. And, you know, I have like 200 hours Aimlabs, 50 hours Kovaaks. I still, you know, I'm not that good. I have good scores, but they're not like top tier, you know. It's still going to take a lot of time for me to develop those scores. And another thing, you want to make sure your lines are super straight, because that can, like, that determines a lot when you're going for like high scores and stuff. Is if your flicks are like this, like if you're arching that shit, or you'll go like this and you'll like go like that, it's gonna waste so much time. But if you can just make a smooth line, that's why I say go into free play and don't even shoot. Just make these smooth lines, and your scores are gonna drop. Like, I'll tell you that right now. You might lose like 20-30%. You might get 20-30%, even 50% worse scores, but it's gonna climb up. One big thing I recommend is changing your crosshair. And now, crosshair is just preference. Like, I'm not going to be that dude who's like, dude, you have to have this crosshair. This is the god crosshair. If not, you're not going to do good. But for like these small static dots, like 6-shot Aimlabs, you want to have a cross or a dot. Gaps, they're doable, but it's a pain in the ass. Alright, let's say some shit like this. This is not a good example, but do you see how big the gap is? It's a lot harder, you know, and you can use these crosses in game and it'll be a lot better, but I just recommend using a dot or a cross. So I like to go for the default one, like the dot.png. This one's a custom one, and I like to go for these two are great. This one is very dependent on the size of the balls. Like this, it's perfect for this task because they're the same size. And I'll link this crosshair in the description, because this crosshair is the same size as these balls. So you have to make sure that the crosshair is completely on the ball before you hit. And that's why I like this crosshair. It's very good practice. I don't use it going for high scores, but I use it for practicing. Another thing I would recommend, change your sense. Now, okay, before the veteran CS players with 15,000 hours, before they get mad at me, alright? Changing your sense isn't bad, alright? Aiming is not muscle memory, it's mouse control. Change your sense, okay? It's not gonna kill you. The reason people do bad when they change their sense is because they will use a sense, like let's say they're an arm aimer and they're using a low sense, they will change their sense to like a wrist aiming sense and still try to arm aim, and they'll do bad with it and they'll be like, oh, well, aiming's muscle memory. It's kind of like an excuse basically. But change your sense. I play 34 centimeters per 360. That means it takes 34 centimeters to do a 360, which is considered a high sense. When I do static dots, I change it to 55, and I've actually been doing it in like CS. So change it, you know, I'd go for like a good 60 Some people go crazy and do like 75 centimeters per 360. That's a pain in the ass. But yo, if you like it, then go ahead. But I'd recommend 60 to like 45. I think that's pretty good. Even 40 isn't bad. The 60 to 45 is kind of like the hot spot for static dots. Another thing, don't use a metronome. A lot of people preach this and go like, yeah, you like use a metronome, it's gonna make you so much better. But in reality, it's not, and I'll show you why. People say like you follow a tempo, which might be true for like ridge shot or something. For these small tasks, you don't like these small target tasks. You don't want to do that because it's about mouse control, you know. So if you're going at the same tempo as a flick like this to a flick like this with a metronome, you're gonna fail, and the metronome's gonna fuck you up. Because there's no way you're supposed to follow the metronome for this flick, but then also this flick, you know. So you can go like this. But then you have to go like that at the same speed. That's not gonna work. It's gonna mess you up. That's why using a metronome probably gonna fuck you up. I know for a fact everyone watching this has that one friend who is complete dog shit at aiming, so send this video to them so they can turn into 10s Junior and top frag in their silver lobbies.